Yeah.
I never knew I made it high enough to notice I'm getting closer, stronger than I've ever been. I believe that I'm unstoppable. I believe I've only just begun. I will conquer, I will fly, reach my peak, I will.
Welcome to Career Summit 4.0. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you, and especially with Dr. Ayoade Adeyemi. Dr. Ayoade Adeyemi is Welcome to Career Summit 4.0. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you, and especially with Dr. Ayoade Adeyemi. Dr. Ayoade Adeyemi is a leader. And I say that because he's he has a heart for humanity, has a heart for service. We have a leadership school. We call it the Daystar Leadership Academy. And Dr. Ayo happens to be one of our faculty members. So I just want to say, Ayo, thank you so much, for your heart of service and for partnering with us to invest in leaders who are changing their families and organizations and communities and our world. Anyway, the theme of our summit is Recalibrate your career. Recalibrate your career. Okay, so for some years now, the discussion has been around the fact that we are in a VUCA world, VUCA, that there's a lot of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity right now. You know what I think? I think the VUCA is now turbocharged. I mean, we've been dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic for 2 years now. And just when we thought we were beginning to, negotiate the bend out of it, Russia strikes and goes to war with Ukraine. So there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of fear. And of course, then there's disruption in the global financial markets. So there's inflation. The war is compounding what we were dealing with respect to the pandemic. We already had supply chain issues, and now the price of crude oil is going up in the international market, and then the price of petrol or gas is going on around the world, right? So I know it's a time when a lot of people are losing their jobs. I mean, think of the 2 million people that have moved out of Ukraine, for example, 2 million plus that have moved out of the Ukraine. Those are careers terminated, okay? Even school children are having their education terminated. And then international organizations are pulling out of Russia in protest. And thousands of people are losing their jobs. Thousands of people are losing their jobs. So it's both a local issue and also a global issue. But what do I want to say to someone here today? First, there is nothing new under the sun, right? If it's about wars, there have been wars before. If it's about inflation, there's been inflation before. There's been economic depression before. If it's about mass migration, there's been mass migration. Okay? But the one thing you need to observe is the fact that if you have people who are still standing, who are still thriving, they have some particular qualities. And I am hoping that in the course of this summit, we will be able to learn some of those strategies, apply them to our lives and to our careers, and that we will come through thriving. Okay, so when I was a teenager, there was something I observed. I've come to realize that my mind recognizes patterns easily. So there was a pattern that I recognized, and it was that there were businesses on my street and the streets near our house that had fizzled out. It bothered me. I also observed that there were people that I knew that were seemingly successful in their careers, and they kind of had fizzled out. I look back at it now and I wonder how I just picked that out, but I picked it out and it bothered me. It was like, I can see something ahead and I need to find out what is causing it. I need to find out what is causing it so that I can avoid it. I could already imagine in my mind that I could be in my maybe 30s and 40s and would have fizzled out already. So I wanted to know what it was. Okay, and I'll tell you that I got answers. I got answers, but let me use an illustration. About 20 years ago, or a little over 20 years ago, I came across a book, Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. The book was a blast. Small book, but it's a timeless book, I should say. In fact, it had such a tremendous effect on me that I took all our staff through the content. Who moved my cheese? A story about 4 mice, and mice like cheese, and they found this large, portion of cheese and decided to camp there, and they were eating and enjoying the cheese. But somewhere along the line, two of the mice drew the attention of the others to the fact that the cheese was reducing in quantity. So they could project that somewhere along the line, they were going to run out of cheese. So they felt that they needed to begin to do something so as to avoid the scenario where they would not totally be out of cheese. So the two would move into the maze, travel further, scouting, checking. In some places, they would see small quantities of cheese and so on. Then they would come back and continue. For the other two, it was like, look, why bother? Were we the ones that put this cheese here? We might get there. Somewhere along the line, before we're through with it, some other cheese will show up, They were not willing to put in the effort. These other two would go. They would go further, come back. Go further, come back. And the cheese was reducing in quantity. But before it finished, the two that were exploring moved away and never came back. And somewhere along the line, they stumbled on cheese that was even bigger in quantity than the one they had had before. Amazing story, right? Amazing story. And there are principles there, principles of change. The first one says they keep moving the cheese. Honestly, the first time I read the book, that one hit me like a thunderbolt. They keep moving the cheese. In other words, change will happen. You can't stop change from happening. Change will happen. Human nature, loves stability. We are creatures of habit. Routine, saves us stress. When you don't have to think about something, saves us stress. We have a nature that quickly programs something and reduces into a routine. So with that, we don't have to think deeply about it anymore. We just go, through the routine. So when you introduce the possibility of change, it gives us stress. It bothers us because it's about to disrupt our lives, so to speak. And that's why a lot of people do not prepare for the changes that happen. Interestingly, you know what I observed from the story of the mice and the cheese? Change almost always happens gradually. Almost always. In other words, the signs usually show that things are not the same anymore. But you know what we do? Because we humans have the capacity to adjust, we keep adapting. Adapting to the old as it is changing, instead of exploring. So I just want to say to someone here, as we begin this conference, as we begin this summit, they keep moving the cheese. As you can see now, the rate of change is actually now really, really fast. This is not a time to hold on to anything for too long or to plan to hold on to anything for too long. I mean, the rate of change is fast. Accept it as a reality and decide that you won't see change as a problem. You will see change as an opportunity. That's it. So, if we're not careful and we don't accept change as a reality of life, we will find ourselves resisting change. See? Yeah. People resist change because change creates instability for us. One, for some of us, change actually creates a sense of loss of control, right? Just when you thought you had everything together, change comes and makes you realize you don't have everything together. Sometimes it's the threat of loss of influence. Like in an organization, when you're introducing the concept of change, sometimes you experience resistance because people want to fight to keep their tough. Everybody's thinking, how is this going to affect me now? Where am I going to land? Okay? And so on. Sometimes it's just the fact that we will have to be dealing with a new set of problems. Some other times it's the fact that we need to learn new skills to be able to adapt to the new, right? But I'll tell you that the major thing that I think hinders us from accepting and adapting to change is the fact that we do not recognize the benefits of change. We want progress, but without change, there can be no progress. How do you define progress without change? It's not possible. Okay? So, we need to see change as an opportunity and not as a problem. We need to have a mindset. So, some basic qualities that we need, as we move forward. One, flexibility. We need to be flexible in our thinking. It's so easy for our thinking to be frozen, for our thinking to be fixed, right? So we need to introduce flexibility. We need to learn to look for opportunities instead of looking for problems. The two of them are the same thing. They're just two sides of the same coin. It depends on how you look. Depends on how you see. And you know the amazing thing, we don't see things the way they are, we see things the way we are. So if you're the kind of a person that always sees the glass as being half empty, in other words, you focus on the emptiness, you focus on the problems, okay, you focus on the challenges, then it means you're not likely to see miracles even when they come by you. If you're the kind that sees the glass as being half full, it means that you focus on the fullness in life. You focus on the opportunities in life. That's what we need. When you have the mindset of a leader or the mindset of an entrepreneur, that is what makes you different. I tell people, what most people run away from is what the leader or entrepreneur runs towards. Example. War breaks out. Some entrepreneurs run towards that. You know why? Because somebody's got to sell the bullets. Unfortunate as war is, somebody's going to sell the tanks, somebody's going to send the anti-aircraft missiles and anti-tank missiles. Money is being spent. And those hundreds or thousands of soldiers that are mobilized to go fight, they need uniforms. And they need to eat. They need to eat. They need food. I heard of business people that became billionaires just supplying food to soldiers that were fighting a war. We do not pray for war. We do not hope for it. But our world is showing us right now we don't have control over that. It just happens for various reasons. Exactly. So we need to be flexible in our thinking, and we need to learn to look for opportunities, possibilities, okay? We need to learn to see problems as opportunities. So, as long as human beings are on this planet, they will always have needs. Settle that. Okay? They will always have needs. So the other thing I'll say before I take my leave, is the fact that we need to be ready to acquire new skills. Okay? We've got to be ready to acquire new skills. We have to be open to learning. And that's why I want to commend everyone who has come to be a part of our Career Summit 4.0. Yeah? The fact that you are open to learning shows me that you won't get stranded easily as the changes begin to happen. So when changes happen, people's needs change. People's priorities change. But as long as there are human beings on this planet, there will always be needs. There will always be needs. So, bottom line, your basic capacity for meeting needs is inborn. It is God-given. Never neglect it. Okay? Right now, there's artificial intelligence. Robots are taking over a lot of jobs done by people. That's one of the changes going on in our world right now. Technology. But it's not a time to be afraid. We just need to know there are some kinds of jobs that machines can do, and there are some types of jobs that they can never do. Right? The routinous jobs, those are the ones we give the machines to do. Right? Whatever we can code into a routine, we'll keep delegating those ones, to machines. But the raw creativity that the Creator has given a human being, machines won't have it. We have it. And then we tell them what to do and use them to express it. So tap into that raw creativity. Okay? That's where to go. The amazing thing, that's where you are unique. That's where you have a niche. Okay? That's where you are irreplaceable. Yes. So move your work towards that area where you feel inspiration. Move your work towards that area where what is normal to you is profound to other people. I happen to be wired for information, so most of my work is revolved around that. I love knowledge. That's the way my mind processes complex information, but can distill it into simple steps that I can give to people for them to apply to their lives with results. Fine? So I found out something. An idea occurs to me. It's normal to me. It's natural to me, the way my mind works normally. I post it on social media, for example, or express it somewhere, and it is profound to someone. That's how talent works. That's how a gift works. And that is what I'm talking about. That's the raw creativity that I am talking about. How do you know that you have a special gift for music, for singing, for example? Well, you just love singing. Let's say you're a child. You just love singing and you sing. But someday somebody hears you and says, "What? Sing again, let me hear you." Oh my God, that voice, oh my, I'm taking you to a producer. I know someone, that can help you. That's how it works. So it's natural to you. That's why most people neglect it, because it is normal to you. But by the time you put it at the disposal of other people, you serve other people with it, you allow other people to benefit from it, that's where you find the profundity of what you carry. And every
Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be joining from. Let me especially welcome everyone on behalf of the convener, Dr. Ayodemi, to the second section, day 2 of the Career Summit 4.0. So can we see some excitement there in the chat room? Let's get the excitement in the chat room. All right, send some love to put it on the chat room, how excited you are. Let's see your expectations for today. Of course, yesterday was a blast. It was a good way to start off the section, start off the summit. And I was inspired. I was really blessed. I don't know about everyone here. If you weren't here yesterday, you just need to jump and send a message to the convener, to the organizers, so that you want to get the recordings, because yesterday was simply a blast. So like I said, let me welcome you to the summit, second day 2, 4.0 of the Career Summit. Let's show some love. Let's see the excitement in the chat room. Nobody is sending anything in the chat room, all right? I'm waiting for it. Let's see your excitement in the chat room again, all right? Yesterday, our participants was amazing, all right? They used the chat room. So today, I know we have super amazing participants today. So I want to see those excitement again. Yes, Oyinda Mola Gbadebo. I think I saw this name yesterday. Thank you for being the first to show your excitement. I see that round of applause there. All right, let's keep that coming in. Yeah, Queen Iwo is already dancing. Yeah, she was here yesterday. I know she's super blessed. All right, let's see that coming in, more coming in. We are not going to waste too much time today because we're a bit fast spent. Time is going. All right, we want to quickly jump into what we have today. So, but I want to say quickly before we hit on, all right, I'm seeing that coming in. Grace Oluwalola says, glad to be here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, quick one. Let's ensure that we keep our microphones on mute. Let's be ready. And from me to you, I want to say, get a notepad and pen. We are about to start. All right, for those who didn't do that yesterday, they will testify that they missed a lot. All right, they missed a lot by not taking down notes. Yesterday was super amazing. I took notes, lots of notes at things I'm going to be running with. So I want to encourage us, take notes and a notepad and a pen, put it by your side, because today we have amazing facilitators who are going to be taking us on another ride on the second section today of the Career Summit 4.0. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. I see that coming in. I see Ademola Adewale says great expression. Yeah, I'm so excited. My name is Terry Omodibo, and I'm so glad to be your moderator again today, coupled with Kachi and a couple of other persons who are also co-moderating with me on today's section. So without wasting too much time, I want to bring on the convener, all right, to take us but today to introduce us to what we have expectations for today, and then we'll take it right from there. Dr. Ayo Adeyemi, over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Terry. It's a beautiful day out here, and I welcome everyone once again. Yes, I don't have so much to say. You've had it all. It's been a fantastic one, and we look forward to today. We are expecting more people to join us. I think the early morning dragging is coming on board, but we are also trying to get across to as many as possible. I want to say a sincere appreciation to our facilitator, our faculty, Omozua Ameze, all the way from Luxembourg. Thank you so much. This is an early one for you. Thank you. We really appreciate you so much. Thank you for what you've been doing to support this. And I know today is going to be a bomb. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. Queen Hero, thank you for also coming on board. And then later on, we're going to have Yemifa Sheung to also talk to us. I want to appreciate everyone and the moderation team. Thank you as well. I can't wait to learn, unlearn and relearn today. Thank you. Enjoy yourself, all of you. So Terry, over to you.
All right, all right. Okay, with that said, from our convener, Dr. Ayademi, thanks for that. We're going to go straight right on into the sections for today. Please ensure that you don't allow anyone to disturb you. All right, if you have people that are going to be disturbing you this morning, ask us to give you some break. So maybe you can put that in the chat room also. All right, give me some break. I want to focus this morning because I have a lot to learn. All right, we have, like I said, we have facilitators who are ready to take us on into today's section. So without wasting too much time, let me hand over to another moderator who will be bringing on our first speaker for today. I think Grace Oluwalola, Grace or Kachi. All right, let's take it up from there. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again to today's session. I strongly believe that we'll run far with what we learned yesterday, and today we're going to run further with what we're going to learn today. Right now, I'll be introducing Queen Iwo. She is an international fitness specialist, transformation
Okay, I don't know if it is from my end, but I think we lost Kachi there. I think we lost Kachi. If you can hear me, please let me know in the comments in the chat room that you can hear me. Just to be sure it's not from my end. All right, if you can hear me, please let me know in the comments. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Okay, great. All right, so I think we lost Kachi there. I don't know if she's back. She's back.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, awesome, great, awesome, awesome.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, back to Queenie Wool. She's certified by the American Fitness and Professional Associates in Nutrition and Wellness Consultant, prenatal and postnatal fitness specialist, and also a certified teacher in mindful movement. She also serves as an executive member of the Association of Fitness Professionals of Nigeria. As a happy healing therapist using fitness and transformation coaching, she helps individuals, families, groups, and corporate organizations improve their quality of life for optimum health, peak performance, productivity through simple, fun, and mindful activities and exercises that help great impact on the spirit, mind, and body. She believes that everyone can become the best version of themselves and uses proven tools, techniques, and tricks to create a unique experience whenever she facilitates. The body is the greatest instrument created by God and can benefit people beyond their wildest imagination if put in good use and treated right. She inspires people to be comfortable in their bodies while creating endless possibilities. She is the founder of Fit Fab and Alive, happily married and blessed with 4 nations. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the platform, Queenie Wool.
Good morning, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. So just before we start, I'd just like us to, who's ready to just rock and roll a little bit. I have just 15 minutes and I'll be out of your face, but it promises to be a wonderful time. All protocols observed. Thank you so much, Dr. Ayo, and to the speakers yesterday who came on to speak. It was such an amazing time. God bless you, sir, for this platform. It's my pleasure to be here the second time. And I'm sure you'll, for those people who've been here before and those people here now, you know that this is more than $1 billion of, the wealth of information that we get here. So without further ado, I'm here before you and I just want us to move our bodies, okay? So sitting on the chair, I'm gonna play a song and then just move. I'll just be leading you with the things to do, right? Telling you what to do and how to go about it. And then we're going to have a small time here. All right, so you're sitting on your chair. You don't necessarily have to stand up, but if you want to stand up, it's fine. Let me know if you can hear the music playing behind. And it's the famous Jerusalem song, okay? So on the chair, you could just, step right up and down with your legs, all right? Unfortunately, you can't see me because of the way my screen is placed. So just, like you're matching 1, 2, and then just shake your shoulders back and forth, this way, inhaling and exhaling and just smiling and being grateful for life, okay? And then you can just rock your shoulders up and down this way. That's it. Keep going. Woo! Yeah. And then you can just turn around like this, what do you call this thing? I don't know what they call it. That olden days dance, okay? Of the oldies. So just keep going. So you're going to the left, to the right, and then we're going to turn to the other side. Ready? Now turn. That's it. Woo! How you feeling? Yeah. Inhale and exhale. Make sure you're breathing. Okay. And next you just up, down, this way. Yeah, up, down. Make sure you're smiling. Unfortunately, I can't see people doing anything because I'm the only one here. Maybe it's the way I did my screen. It would be nice to see people doing things. And punch out, right and left. Woo! How do you feel? Even on your seat, you could just have a slow time moving your body. Yeah? Inhale and exhale. Yeah. Keep breathing in and out and be grateful for the opportunity to learn again today. Right? Keep going. Punch, up, down, down. That's it. Yeah, I can see someone doing something. Doctor is on it. Keep going. Up, down. Yeah. Woo! Okay, so now what you're going to do, if you have space around you, just kick up, kick and kick and kick and kick. Make sure you're kicking your legs. You can't see me, but I'm moving, so you know that I'm doing something. Fantastic. Well done. Inhale, exhale. Woo. And just dance any way you feel like dancing, all right? In the chair, you can lift your hands up and just take it over your head. Breathe in and out. Woo. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Woo. Fantastic. I'm already breaking out in sweat, so this is like a big deal, right? Not exactly. You're sitting down, so just keep moving your body back and forth. Woo, back and forth. Yeah, our doctor he's on his feet. It's a serious matter, I know. Keep going. Woo. Yeah. Keep moving, keep dancing, keep going, keep going.
Eddie, are you doing competition?
Good job.
Oh, they are worshiping.
You're smiling and you're excited and grateful for the gift of life. Yes. Woo. Excellent. Good job. That's it. Yeah. Amazing. Well done. Good job. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Amazing. Congratulations, everyone. So just put it in the chat and let me know how you're feeling right now. Like I'm sweating, whoosh, whoosh. Thank you so much for, for joining this session. So I'm actually supposed to speak. I've been trying to get my laptop to work. I'm not able to, so I'm trying to use my iPad and I'm trying to share, and I'm not even seeing how to share my slide right now because I don't know what this is all about. But let's see if I'm able to share anything from my iCloud drive. The document is there, it's fine. If not, then I will just, speak and probably send the slides later, and then we'll take it up from there. And so today, so let me just look for my slide from somewhere else, and we'll just run. It's gonna be very quick, very sharp, and I'm out of your faces.
Do a backup. So you can do a backup sent to Aya. That they share from their
okay,
end.
if I can send an email. Okay, so
send it to Aya, so they'll put it up while you
okay, so that should I send it to his WhatsApp message?
Yeah, you can send to WhatsApp, so he will share.
Okay,
and
so I'll do that.
Just follow through.
So
That's a plan B.
Okay, but that's fine. I'll send it now, and if we can run with it, if not, it's fine. I'll just go ahead and we'll continue. So I'll be talking. So I really sat for a bit and I was just thinking, okay, so what I probably changed my slides 3 times, trying to just find exactly what we need to, talk about straight to the point. And so I'll be talking about, just give me a second, let me send to Dr. Ayo if we can find, if not, then I'll just read straight and then send to everyone who has signed up. Apologies, sincere apologies. Okay, so it's been sent now. So I'll just talk about it, tell you what the topic is, straight runs in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I'm out about So it's what I call recalibrate, right? Fit for purpose, the 4 cardinal points. All right, and then I just wrote, just little definitions, what it exactly means to recalibrate. It means to make a change from one state or form or position to another. And then the words there, are strike 4 words that actually just stood out: revise, change, alter, and adapt. You know that yesterday when Dr. Sam Adeyemi was speaking, when Dio was speaking and TDK they were speaking, it was obvious that anybody who was sitting down there was already thinking about, what do I need to do? I need to make changes. And it was not so much about the magnitude of the change that needs to be made, but the small little changes that you can start even right now to make a huge difference. Okay. And then the question that I asked, or I wrote here, was if you continue with your current lifestyle, what will be the quality of your health in the next 10 to 15 years? Understand that we're in the VUCA world, okay? And that means that the dynamics of things are changing. And just like the dynamics of things are changing in the world, we are also witnessing a downturn mental health issues, things are just, because people are getting more overwhelmed and looking for more ways to cope with, with what's happening in the world. People are tending to go towards or lean towards, the unhealthy patterns and, things that exist out there. And there's a downward, should I say downward and spiral movement towards the quality of health. Rather than it to improve, it's taken a downturn, and that should keep you, really aware and awake about the things you need to do. What do you need to do is be intentional. That's intentional generally means something that is done on purpose, or you're deliberate doing, okay? And how are you intentional? One, you know where you are, you know where you want to go, what you need, and what you ought to do. So for example, since we're talking about our health and wellness, where are you? Take, stock. Where are you currently, health-wise? Where do you want to go? Or for example, I think I'm overweight, or I think I'm sedentary. Where do you want to go? I want to be physically fit and active. What do I need? I need to create time to work out. I need to get some clothes, inspire myself with exercise. I need to, just being deliberate. And then the last thing, what do you need to do? What are the things you ought to do? And then you get started doing it. Now, there are 4 cardinal pillars. Yesterday, Dr. Dyer shared, savers, what he does daily. But here I just put 4 cardinal pillars, and I call it the SEMP dosage, which is SEMP. So while we want to focus on being well, it's important to also note that it's not just about fitness in quotes, but about total well-being. And when you're talking about total well-being, you cannot separate the elements that make up, a complete being. Fitness and healthy eating is just one of the elements. So there are 4 pillars, which I would like to share about. So we're supposed to do a SEMP dosage test. And, I wish it was on the screen now where we could all see and we could test ourselves, So the pillars are S for spiritual empowerment, E for emotional stability, M for mental resilience, and P for physical stamina. I'll go again. S for spiritual empowerment, E for emotional stability, M for mental resilience, and P for physical stamina. So they're just basic questions you could ask yourself. And if you answer yes for each step, you give yourself 5 points just to know exactly where you are and how you're faring. So for the spiritual empowerment, questions like, I pray daily, for a minimum of 20 minutes. I create time to meditate daily for a minimum of 10 minutes. I fast at least once a week. So fasting sometimes is not so much about just staying away from food, but you could fast from social media. You could fast from, watching TV, things that could just clog your space, and you ensure that, at least once a week you go on that kind of soul detox fasting or mind fasting, any kind of fast that that you're abstaining from something that you used to. So if it's yes, you can give yourself 5 points for each. If not, the only one, you can just score yourself. Emotional stability. I know my strengths. I'm not afraid to face my weaknesses. I know how to identify stressors and can manage stress effectively. I create me time, regularly, and I unplug from everyone and everything to get renewed, recharged, and rejuvenated. So as the questions come, just be honest with yourself and give yourself, anything that is yes, you can give 5 marks. Mental resilience. I have clearly defined goals and place them where I can see them daily. I affirm, I engage in affirmations and visualizations as part of my daily routine. I create time daily to read or listen to resources for personal growth and development. Give yourself 5 points. And physical stamina, I engage in physical exercises. We just did a little this morning, and I'm actually just breaking out in sweat. That feels really good. I stay hydrated by drinking at least 8 glasses of water. I eat healthy meals or nutrient-dense meals every single day in the right, in quotes, proportions, okay? So eating in the right proportion is also very important. So at the end of the day, you should try to calculate your score and then score yourself. So if you score anything from 55 and above, then your SEMP dosage is actually pretty high. You're doing quite a lot, with the 4 pillars, and bravo, keep doing it. If your score is anywhere between 40 to 54, you're doing quite a number of things well, but you can also, do better. 29 to 44, you're getting really low on your self dosage, and it's time to take stock and reorder your priorities. And then from 15 below, it's time to take action. Like, you don't necessarily have time if you're actually living in this world where we live in, where things are changing in dynamics by the day, and we must keep up, just like we must keep up our skills and upskill and refresh and retool. Then you cannot ignore your body, because your body is what you necessarily need for you to be able to ensure and achieve that. And then just to wrap up, know that your body, or the body, is an indispensable vehicle for high performers. One of the reasons why we're all here to recalibrate our careers is because we are on the plane of high performers, and you very well know that your body, thank you so very much, you very well know that your body is an indispensable, vehicle for being a high performer. And like we know, and just in case you've not known, health is no respecter of status or position, and all the success, power, wealth, and prestige. Okay, so I'm still forward. You can still go back a little bit after the score. The score, right? Then yes, exactly. Thank you. So health is no respecter of status, and all the success, power, wealth, prestige, and everything we get in life cannot buy our health. And then AJ Materi, so you can go to the other slide now. AJ Materi said, so many people spend their health gaining wealth and then spend their wealth to regain their health. In these times and in these seasons that we're in, you cannot afford to take your health for granted. If you achieve all that you need to achieve, and you do that at the expense of your health, then you're going back to ground zero or to square one. So it's important that you treat your body as God's temple that it is, treat it right, and make a decision today to begin to live healthy. And of course, how I can help you: I help individuals, I help organizations, and I have a few resources you can join. You can check my YouTube channel. I have a wellness book, and I have a free meal plan. If you would like to just go on to start eating healthy, then you click the link right there to download your free meal plan. And if you would like to get my wellness handbook, just very practical and down to earth. And let's connect if you may, and if you so desire. And thank you so very much for a wonderful, wonderful time here. Please let me know if the session was worth your while, and God bless you. Have a wonderful time for the rest of the summit. Bye. I'm done. Thank you.
Awesome section. Thank you so much, Queen Iwo. That was beautiful, straight to the point, and I believe we got so much value from that. Okay, so let's have Grace introduce our next speaker on the Career Summit 4.0. Day 2.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry, and good morning, everyone. It's good to be here. It's been a wonderful time since yesterday. I've learned so much. So thank you so much, Dr. Ayuade, for this program. All right, the next speaker is Mrs. Omodua Ameze Isiwame. She's called the High Performance Brain Trainer and Neuro Coach. Omodua Ameze Isiwame is the founder of CWO Solutions, Executive Coaching with Omodua, co-founder of the Systemic Neuroscience Consulting Group, and co-creator of the 3 to 5 Brain System Code. In our work as a certified high-performance brain and neuroagility trainer, executive intelligent leadership, and neuroscience coach, she uses emotional mastery, neuroagility, and neuroscience-based approaches to empower and prepare clients' hearts and heads to take the journey from where they are to where they want to be by bravely accessing and optimizing their limitless brain potential. Besides her work, she describes herself as an orchid boss, appreciates coloring mandalas and listening to jazz and blues. Her love for people enhancement and performance optimization. Just bear with me, please. Her love for people enhancement and performance optimization stems from her educational, managerial, training background, and work experience from collaboration with experts of different levels and from different industries and fields. This is where she identified that every resourceful thing one can be do and achieve is only then possible when we are CEOs of the brain. Today, she's on a mission to contribute to a world with brain-friendly leaders and more humanness. She works with executives, aspiring leaders, and entrepreneurs, corporate professionals, teams, and organizations to help them drive greatness from within as leaders that impact the greater good with clarity, confidence, and courage. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Recalibrate 4.0, which is Omodwa Amide Israel, with a very loud applause if you can. Thank you.
So, hello, everyone. Thank you very much for that very, very warm welcome. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo Adeyemi, for having me in this space and for putting this together. It's my first time, and I hope that everyone present today will gain insights that you can use to be the CEO of your brain. Thank you very much. So I'll just go ahead and share my screen so that we can really maximize time, because I know I've got only 45 minutes. It's very difficult to talk about the brain in only 45 minutes, so I'll do my best. Here we go. So can someone just tell me if you can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So I'm just going to start. Welcome all of you to this summit. I am really happy to be here to talk about recalibrating your career with the brain in mind. And I'm sure you might be wondering, why is this important? Why talk about this? Well, I will tell you a little bit about myself and why the brain has become so important to me. I was born in Wales. My parents moved to Nigeria when I was about 11. And at 17, my parents sent me back to Europe to study, as most African parents do. And 2 years later, my mom died. And what I remember was being told, to not cry, to be strong, not to show any emotions, because this is a sign of weakness. And for a long, long time, I could not express what I wanted. I couldn't address my pain. I did not know how to change the way I felt. And this started making me feel really lost. I showed up strong. Everybody thought, oh, wow, she's there. She's got it all together, because that was what was expected of me. But it had very little to do with what I wanted for myself. To be successful, to operate with self-expression and freedom, not be oppressed by fear of leaving what is referred to as the comfort zone. For me, it was not a comfort zone. It was a pain zone, okay? It was a pain zone. Everything I wanted was outside. So I said, how can this be called a comfort zone when everything I want is outside this zone? So I realized that to get out of that, I needed to work on my emotional mastery, my emotional intelligence, my personal growth, self-expression. How could I live authentically with courage and resilience? What was the common factor, the common denominator? And it was the brain. And the more I came to study the brain, understand it, the more I knew that it plays a mighty role in changing oneself, one's environment, and the world, our discipline, courage, self-esteem, productivity, performance, communication, bonds, which is also why I made this a mission to contribute to a brain-friendly world. And hence, when Mr. Adeyemi asked me if I would contribute to this topic, I said, well, I'm not an HR person and I might not know much about career, but I do know with the brain, you can be the actor in your life. So what is it all about? We have heard today a lot about the VUCA world, yeah? And it truly is one, no doubt about that. But it has even changed significantly from a VUCA to a BANI world. It is brittle, anxious, nonlinear, incomprehensible. And what does this mean? It means that humans have to exist and operate and continue to be in the way things are. So this whole disruptive change requires change agility, willingness to change, to adapt with ease. And it doesn't happen without the brain. This term BANI was coined by James Casio, who was one of the collaborators in 2016. And he mentioned BANI, an extended form of VUCA, in the article called Facing the Age of Chaos. So change agility, what does it start with? It starts and calls for neuroagility. Yeah, it starts for your ability to relearn, unlearn, multi-skill, think fast, easy, have the mental flexibility to adapt and adjust to disruptive change fast. It is your relevance. It is your competitive advantage, because you can be in a company, you may want to change your job, you may want to start a new profession, you may want to start a business. How are you going to do that when the brain doesn't help you, doesn't serve you? You need to be able to out-create. You need to be able to out-think. You need to be able to out-learn. It is your competitive advantage. And this makes brain power the #1 determiner for success in this millennium. So let us look at the brain. I want you to look at that list. Take a screenshot. Your greatest asset, our greatest asset as humans, is the brain. And back in the olden days, we used to be, you know, the Neanderthals, they used to be run, you know, they had to run from the dinosaur, from the great mammoth. The automatic brain, or what some might refer to as the ego, has its ways of doing things. But if you want to recalibrate your career, if you want to recalibrate your life, if you want to perform, improve, enhance, optimize, it does not function if it's run by your automatic brain. We are in the era of the mind. The mind, you know, neuroscience has given us so much now that we know, wow, we can actually overcome being victims of our automatic brain, emotional hijacks that make us react with fear. We don't have to be victims of our circumstances or past traditional ways that no more serve us in these times that we live in today. Look at that list. The difference between just feeling it is as it is, I can't change anything, I have no control, versus operating with the mind. That's a big one. That's a big one. It is not enough to just accept things as they are and hope things will somehow go right. Change and disruption are not going away. They are a constant, and we have to face, live, and deal with change. So operating your career with the ways of the automatic brain, it's the opposite of thriving in any manner. What will keep you relevant, future ready, able to have a competitive edge in the future workplace, in the world we live in today, is being able to make yourself relevant despite artificial intelligence facilitating so many processes, making many jobs redundant, and being ready for the jobs of the future, which have not even been created today. Does the brain react to change? Yes, it does. It releases chemicals. It reacts to stimuli of different kinds, internal and external. You find yourself reacting or responding. You find yourself liking something. You find yourself connecting, rejecting, accepting, believing that things are possible or not. You find yourself able to discipline yourself, to activate your courage, to be resilient in the face of adversity. That is your brain reacting to change. The brain does its job one way or the other. So you need to be the CEO of your brain. You need to understand how it functions. Why operate with the brain, you would say? Well, the brain is all about survival. Yeah? When it comes to your life, your personal success, your professional success, the brain will always serve you with the 3 core parts, which I will introduce to you in a short while. But it drives your reactions, it drives your responses, and it is quite clear. It's reward, threat, or neutral. The brain will always do 2 things as it addresses life. Can I eat you? Great. Your survival, your survival is ensured. Can I reproduce with you? Survival, fantastic. Do you give me pleasure, rewards? Cost me as little energy as possible? Then great. Anything that does not meet this criteria leads to the fear circuit switching on, and then we become reactive. And in this VUCA or even BANI world that we live in, you can clearly see how this can make or break things. The brain is all about survival, as I said. Everything we do is connected to winning, remaining on top of things. And so what does this mean? The brain is all about making sure it does not lose the things that make us human: status, finance, health, social connection, certainty, safety, belonging. The brain will do what it needs to do to make sure that it's alive. And these things are the things that keep us present in life. So I said earlier, the brain is wired for our survival, but we have to exercise our power of choice when it comes here. We've got a lot of decisions to make. There are a lot of paths. Everybody's journey is different. You may look at one person and think, why is my life not like that? Well, what I am saying is that when you consider the brain, your command of your brain, you need to always be intentional. You need to be intentional and attentional, so that you need to know, am I making my decisions from a higher brain perspective or a lower brain perspective? Because that's the difference between responding on a higher brain perspective or reacting, lower brain. Where do you operate from? Let me put this in another picture. The power of choice. Do you react or respond? Do you just say, it happened, so I did what I did? I made that decision independent if it hurt me, if it hurt others, if it hurt my environment. You are not your brain. You are not an emotion. You are not your thoughts, but you're the one who has to navigate them so that you are not a victim of what your brain does as it keeps you alive. I'll give you an example. I was coaching an HR expert, and she was responsible for recruiting. But she'd been doing that job for quite a long while. And, was a bit frustrated, felt nothing was happening. But all the while, she was getting more qualifications. She studied, went to evening school, and was still doing a job that no more met it did not meet her needs. She wanted to do more because she now had more education, more qualification, more knowledge. So as she would go about, looking at the CVs of people who were applying for jobs for which she was responsible, she would notice that she started putting some CVs away, shredding them even. And what was interesting when I asked her, what do you think is driving you to do that? What is the loss? You remember those losses I talked about? Loss of finance, status, certainty. She was now qualified for a job that she was not applying for in her company. She knew what the job requirements were. In her mind, she knew that she was qualified, but she wasn't applying for it. So when she saw a CV, she would shred it or just put it aside as if it didn't come in. And then I made her understand. I said, do you see what your brain is doing there? And I'm saying this without judgment and evaluation, because that's very important. The brain does what it does to protect us. Subconsciously, her brain was protecting her. When she became aware of this, it made all the difference for her. I said, so what could you do differently now that you know what your brain? Would you continue with that behavior, or can you change the behavior? That's how you change a habit. That's how you change your circumstances. That's how you become a person who is good on your own terms, with the brain in mind. She applied for that job. And she started having life satisfaction, life purpose. Let's meet the brain. 3 core parts. 3 core parts. You've got the PFC, which is responsible for thinking, decision making, distinguishing. It's the thinking brain. It's the you, the conscious you. But it needs information from the emotional brain, which you see there. The emotional brain is also referred to as the limbic system. Yeah, the limbic system, that's where you have all your insights, your memories, your experiences, good and bad. This is where you get the insights for creativity, for innovation. But it is also the area where you've got the amygdala in this area here, where it looks out for threat, danger. And then you've got the brainstem. The brainstem is also referred to as the primitive brain or the primal brain. That's responsible for, digesting, healing, breathing, the things that you don't have to think about. So the brain is so made that either way, it keeps us alive. But we humans have the PFC, the CEO of the brain, which differentiates us from animals, from the monkeys. And we can create so much. We can do so much more. Thank God that the things that happen automatically, we don't have to think about that. These elements have to work individually and together for you to be a whole-brained human. And the PFC is key when it comes to your career, your work, your decisions, relationships, your well-being, because this is your conscious you, the thinking you. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for planning, decision-making, problem-solving, self-control, acting with long-term goals in mind, not that automatic brain that is me, I win, you lose, me. The one that can go beyond itself for the greater good. Let's look at those executive functions a little closely. Take a screenshot of that. Look at those things. It's almost like a company where you want all the parts to function well. And you also want to be efficient in those things. Look at that. Planning, prioritizing, organizing, time management, being focused, goal-directed, being flexible, able to shift your focus, metacognition, seeing beyond just you, sustained attention, emotional control, and all of that takes place in that PFC. Can you see how this can impact and make you the player of your life in everything that you aim for? When we don't take the brain into account, what happens is that we know the standard thing that happens: fear and stress. Everything becomes a disaster. You see the lizard, but somehow the brain just thinks, wow, it's danger, it's a dinosaur. There's this stress. And I'm not talking of the stress that happens when you have 1,000 things to do. I'm talking of the stress from a brain perspective when it's shutting down, when it's not releasing the right chemical. We'll look into that in a little. The fear circuits get switched on, and there is flight, there is fight, there is freeze. It's the opposite of being able to do anything. Can I just get a signal if everyone can hear me? Because I feel like, could someone just sort of give a hello so that I can know you can hear me? Wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's go on. What do those, so going back to that, you see the flight, the fear circuits, when the brain is in cortisol, when you don't know how to calm it down, when you think it doesn't matter, this is what happens. This is how the brain reacts to change. Remember, I told you the emotional brain contains our experiences, our memories. When that part, the amygdala particularly, cannot identify something, it's like a smoke detector. The fear circuits get switched on, and then you operate with the 3 Fs. You are very reactive in that moment. The brain is not getting enough oxygen. The brain cells are not firing and wiring together. And when you are in flight mode, that's when you're worried, you have anxiety. When you're in fight mode, that's when you're aggressive. But this is just the brain trying to manage a situation, but not from the higher brain, from the lower brain. And in other worst case scenarios, we freeze, helplessness, hoping that somehow that problem will just go away. It will just disappear. Yeah, but that is the opposite of being in control of the driver of our life and work and relationships and career. Look at those brain cells. When your brain is stressed, you can see the difference between the fully developed brain cell and the one that is withered, has shrunk. For performance, whether you're a child, student, adult, you need to be in the eustress zone. That's where you perform. That's where everything comes together. So it's the question, if you don't take care of your brain, if you don't understand your brain, you will be operating in the distress zone. And what does that look like? Cortisol, the stress hormone. The brain cells, they do not wire together. This is sort of like the destructive mindset, limited view of life, always angry, always pessimistic, never having hope, never having a negative view of life, just always feeling like a victim. But there is behavior that you can have that prevents you from being in that state most of the time. Absolutely. The opposite is when your brain is releasing neurotransmitters, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. This is where you have a growth mindset, a constructive mindset. You're efficient, you're confident, learning becomes possible, expanding as a person becomes possible. It's good feelings, good fuel, and possibilities. You are able to courageously go for them. I said a stressed brain shuts down. Thinking, solving problems, thriving, being creative cannot happen when your brain shuts down. the different areas. First of all, your lateral the left and right brain hemispheres, then your expressive brain, your receptive brain, and then the upper cortex, and then the lower brain, the emotional system. When again, the fear circuits switch on, and then you're in survival mode. Nothing is possible in survival mode other than surviving. And then remember the picture I just showed you about flight, fight, freeze. Thank God we have neuroplasticity. We have brain insights today. We have things that you can do, like easy things that you can do to help you be, help the brain serve you. It is said, use it or lose it. The brain has been given to you, but you need to be the CEO of it. If not, it will run you. Your success code depends on where you operate and what you are focusing on. Are you focusing on only the fires that you're putting out, being reactive, feeling blocked, unable to tap into your insights, facing threats? That's what the amygdala does. But this takes you away from operating with high perspectives, with positivity. You need to have emotional literacy. You need to be able to master your emotions so that you don't have these knee-jerk reactions, so that you're not a victim of your brain, the automatic brain. You need to make emotional literacy, emotional intelligence, talking about how you feel, so that you can get through a situation resourcefully. You need to make these things a priority in your personal development, in your growth measures, because it is your success currency as you move forward. And no one can do this for you. You've got to do it for yourself. And the good thing is that as much as we spend time getting information, we can get this information today. It's no more a secret. It's no more only a thing that neuroscientists know. We now know that each one of us can make this doable. I go into schools and we do emotional mastery. Children as young as 9 are learning about this. University students are learning how can they be prepared for the future workplace. How can they be CEOs of their brains? Sorry for that. So the map is not the territory. We all know the saying. It's always been done like that. I know it because that's how I learned it. The map is not the territory. You need to be the boss of your brain. If you look at that image, the way you see life, that's just your map. That doesn't mean there is nothing outside that. So yes, someone said to me, oh, this is a leadership training. Why are we talking about the brain? And I was like, well, what do you think drives your decisions? What do you think drives your choices? Who you like, what you don't like, what you choose to do? What do you think drives that? It is your brain. So you need to work on that, identify things that trigger you, identify how you operate, and you can find that information today. It's no more a secret. But for a growth mindset, you need to go beyond your map. The map is good, but only to a certain extent. In many situations, it's not going to take you further if you stick to only that. And as you face life changes, the whole information coming at you, you need to remember that the brain does not like pain. The brain does not like exerting energy. If it can do it automatically, it will do that. You know how you react when your child does something or your colleague does something and you just say, stop that. That's the brain just doing what it does, like, go away, pain. But as you face change, there are all these thoughts distorted thoughts. Look at that. Make a screenshot. Take a screenshot of that. That's what the brain is busy doing. You say you're listening, but actually you're not listening. You're listening through that map that you have. All or nothing thinking, overgeneralizing, filtering out positives. How do you think you do that? We do that with the brain. That's why it matters. When we see the world through this eye, through this view, everything seems impossible. And we can't spend time wasting it on distorted thoughts, seeing the world through distorted thought, because it hinders you from being your best version ever. Knowing this, having this awareness, practicing it, integrating it into what you do is where the difference and the music plays. Everything starts with the brain. And I'm not talking of just any, I'm talking of an agile brain, one that is well fed. The presentation we just listened to from the Queen Iwo, she talked about, having a routine. She talked about exercising. She talked about taking care of the brain, feeding the brain correctly, hydrating the brain. Yes, because everything starts with it. An agile brain, one that you use, your success, your performance, productivity, your communication, your social bonds, what you like, your well-being, your possibility to send a ripple effect into the world that matters comes from there. I think of a Mandela who went through the most horrendous experience a human being can have on earth. And yet that man came out strong. It was a lot to do with his mindset, with his brain, with his understanding of it. And it allowed him to be greater than the adversity that he had experienced. An agile brain powered by skills to solve complex problems, make accurate decisions fast, and cognitive flexibility to access the full range of all thinking and learning modalities simultaneously will be the key to your competitiveness, your employability, your prosperity, and your success in a technologically advanced world. None of this happens without the brain. We didn't know a lot about the brain till now, but we now do more and more. You can do things about it. You can make it tangible. You can remove the guesswork. And you've heard me mention the word neuroagility. Yes, you can actually today identify why you are the way you are, how you are wired, why you learn things the way you do, why you are interested the way you that you're interested in the things that you're interested in, where you have a risk for human error and what you can do about that. And that's what we can find out with the neuroagility profile assessments. You can identify your natural blueprint and just be more of who you are. And you can even improve those things with tangible drivers. The drivers are how things that you can do to make sure that your brain serves you. So as you have a perfect formula, your formula contains the tech skills, which is workflow, but then you have to also work on the mind flow, right? That's everything brain thinking, because then you've got the external flow. And the external flow is 90%. 90% happening around you, coming to you. But the 10%, that mind flow, that is going to determine if you're operating on a high level, brain-wise, or on a low level. One that is blocked, that does not allow room for expansion, for self-expression, for the courage to just say, I want that, and I'm going to get out of that pain zone. I'm going to get out of that comfort zone. I'm going to go for that promotion. I'm going to start that business. And I know that I've got my mind with me. I'm not going to suffer from self-sabotage. Because self-sabotage, you know, we say that, but what is self-sabotage? It's when your brain thinks that's going to cost me pain, energy. No, I'm not going there. So you're going to go for the pleasure. You know, it's like when you're supposed to work on a project, but then Netflix sounds better. You're supposed to exercise, but lying in bed for another hour feels better. I'm not saying this with judgment or evaluation. That's what I have learned. Compassion that you can give yourself comes when you understand that the brain is just trying to keep you alive by all means possible. You need to make the choice. Do I stay in bed or do I get up and exercise? Do I work on my project or do I distract myself with something that is not necessary, that is not going to head me forward? That we can't do without that anymore today. Neuroagile abilities. We saw this yesterday. The World Economic Forum mentions these skills as the must-have skills of today and the future workplace. It's a combination of brain power and emotional intelligence skills. You cannot solve complex problems if you have a brain that is just like, ooh, I don't like what I'm looking at. I don't like the sound of that new system the company is bringing in. I don't like the challenge of opening my business and digitalizing, automating things, bringing in new employees, listening to what that junior employee has to say. It is so important to look at that list, take a screenshot of it. Interesting to know that these are all either brain power skills or emotional intelligence skills. You can't thrive or have a competitive advantage today without them. This quote I like from Dr. Andre Vermeulen. He is the CEO of Neuralink, of which I am one of the corporate business partners of the Neuralink in Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg region, where we are spreading the news of neuroagility. Okay, he says the world would not adapt to you. You have to adapt to the world. Hoping, wishing it, praying alone, hoping that problems will disappear and things will fall in place is not going to take you further if you are not an active player in what your outcomes are to be, the part that we can control, obviously. Final reflections. Acquire brain awareness. I remember when I was in Nigeria, when my parents left England, we moved to Lagos, and then from Lagos, we went to Oshogbo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Oshogbo. I had a lot of friends in Oshogbo, Ife, Ibadan, Ogbomosho. It couldn't get any more traditional, yeah. But what I realized as I started my career and I started getting out of my pain zone was that this was like, how did we spend hours learning things that had nothing to do with the brain? You know, you did chemistry, you did biology, there were all these subjects, and the one thing that drives our performance was never addressed, never brought up as a topic. I am happy to say that we don't have to continue our lives like this anymore. I am happy to say that we all have access to this information. We can do something about it. We can integrate it, and we can be more of what we already are with the brain in mind. We need to outcreate, outlearn, outthink to thrive. So the takeaways, I leave them here for you. The brain is all about survival, preventing loss of any kind, and by all means possible. What you decide is what makes the difference. What brain region you are operating from. Are you being reactive, fight, flight, freezing, or are you being responsive? Are you being the CEO, the boss of your brain? Directing your actions, knowing that Every little thing you do, it's the brain helps you with it. If you're sick, if the body is sick, it's the brain that is sending signals to the body, heal. If you are going to run a marathon, you need the brain to be with you on that 42, kilometer run. If you want to open a business, you need courage and resilience. It's the brain. So I hope that this has been insightful to you all. I know that's not been really interactive, but it's again, you can ask me questions now because that is actually the final slide. And if you want more information, yes, just reach out to me. Take action at omozua.com. Go to my website, omozua.com. And yeah, let's start a brain-friendly conversation, one where you thrive, one where you're the CEO of your life, one where despite all we are taught, how we are brought up, we still direct our show with confidence and the brain in mind. Thank you very much. I do not know, how do I end this show? Okay.
Wow. So.
Sorry, I'm trying now. Stop share. Yes, that's how I do it. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody. Please, if you've got questions, please go ahead. Ask ahead.
That was fantastic. That was great. I want to appoint you as my brain manager. So I will transfer it to Luxembourg. Oh, that was, really a high of me, and I'm sure everyone here, this is different from what we've been hearing and probably what we'll be listening to. This is about brain, for crying out loud, and how it really requires a lot of special treatment.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We're going to bring you back, but I will allow the moderator to do their job. We'll talk more. Thank you so much. God bless you, really. Thank you so much. Over to you.
All right, let's take questions. I think Kachi is coordinating this. Kachi is coordinating the questions. Let's take questions. I expect a lot of questions here today.
You can unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm on. I think Kachi is supposed to moderate this, but let's take questions. Fantastic session so far. I'm just gasping for breath based on what I've heard today. Kachi, are you still in the room? Thank you so much. Did I say Dr. Mozua now?
Just a Mozua.
Hey, this is really mind-blowing. This is really
analysis.
I need to submit my short.
Use your brain for test analysis. So the first assignment for Omozua is to really help us with your brain.
Yes, my brain needs checkup. I think my brain needs checkup. But there's the part that's really touched me. I'm going to share that, just the 5 things that will increase your brain performance. I'm going to talk about that before the next speaker comes in. But that was my take for me in terms of action. What next to do? For me, that's just a goal. Right, so many things, and the comments there are fantastic section, fantastic brain physiotherapy section. So many comments in the chat room. I need brain analysis. Kinde says I need brain analysis too. A brain reset. So many things. Kachi, are you there? All right, over to Kachi for questions. But this is just simply amazing. Simply amazing.
Okay.
Simply amazing.
Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you very much, Terry. This has been a very, very interesting session. The brain is one aspect that we hardly get to talk about. The brain is one section that we feel we are in control of and that we understand. But right now, I've just made to know that I'm a stranger to my brain. So who am I? Who is my brain? As in, okay, so this is interesting. And I guess a whole lot of us are in that space right now. So this is a wonderful opportunity to have Omozua with us. And please, let's take advantage of this opportunity. I need us to come up with questions. We really need to come up with questions because we don't get to get a topic like this. It doesn't come so easy. It doesn't come so often. And to so many of us, this is the first time we are beginning to realize that we need to know our brain or our brain needs to know us. Either way, there has to be a relationship for us to optimize our performance in every aspect of our lives. So is there any question? Okay, Mo, you have a question. Can you kindly unmute and ask your question? Mo, can you hear me?
I can. I actually don't have a question. This was me raising my hand earlier when Omozua wanted us to signify to her to say that we were hearing what she was saying. So
Okay.
I guess the wave just didn't leave the screen.
Okay, so
Okay.
so there's a question here from Queenie Wolf. Okay, so you've done the body and now you're coming up with the brain. That's good synergy. What's the first place to start when you need to work on your brain in ensuring you enjoy peak performance and productivity? How do you retain the brain to break habits or patterns?
Okay, so I'll answer that first question first. Thank you very much. Where do you start? Just basic. It's really not complicated. Understand the brain. Those three parts that I said, the PFC, the emotional brain, knowing that all emotions are in there, anger, love, jealousy, courage, all that is in the emotional brain. And you've got the primitive brain. And think of it like a company. So you've got the upper management, you've got the mid management, you've got the lower management. Now, when the upper management can function if the middle management is fine. But if the middle management, if that accountant is saying, my God, you're spending too much money, the fear circuits go on. You just knowing that, you know, when you're getting angry, I'm sure everybody does. You can sense it when you just feel overwhelmed, right? It's not like you don't have to stick anything on your head. You know when it is happening, but that is the moment that you need to catch yourself, because what you do next is what will determine the outcome. If you let the overwhelm continue, the frustration continue, the anger continue, you will start reacting. But if you take a step back, if you use power questions to ask, what is it that I'm doing right now that is leading to me feeling, not being in a certain way, but feeling a certain way, you can then respond resourcefully as much as you need to do. I'm sure there are many parents there, and you know when your child goes, mama, 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 mommy, 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 mommy. I heard my sister once, she said, my goodness, my name is Ahizua, stop calling me mommy. And I looked at her, I said, whoa, sister, you are having a limbic moment. Catch that limbic moment. That is exactly what you need to understand, that the limbic moment is what makes people make decisions that we can see in the world today now, that we are now in, that we have places where there is war. What is resourceful about that decision, for example? And that's a crass example right now. The next question, how do you retrain your brain to break habits or patterns? By doing it, by taking note of it. Think of a field and you've got a dog. If the dog walks on a certain path, right? That's how a habit is. Because people say, change the habit, let it go. Let it go is not a great thing to tell the brain. Remember what I said about the losses of the brain? The brain hears, let it go, that means loss. You need to give a clear instruction to the brain that does not make it feel, uh-oh, danger, threat, danger, threat. Let it go sounds like a threat. If you do not articulate clearly, and you don't have to say it loud, but you need to say, okay, Thank you very much for the warning, but I've got this. I'm the CEO of my brain. Don't let the amygdala lead you on. So when you have a field and a dog walks on a certain part of the field, you will know, or if people walk on it, you can see that the grass will be trodden. And that is the habit. The more you walk on that part of the grass, the more it just stops growing. And that's now a habit. Now, if that is a habit you want to replace because it's unresourceful, it could be smoking, it could be over drinking, it could be procrastinating, it could be feeling sorry for yourself, it could be just thinking that life is just like, if that is a habit you want to get rid of, by all means, start walking on another path, one day at a time, one moment at a time. If you want to stop being lazy, if you want to do sports, start with one day, start with 20 minutes. Now you start the new path. And then what happens to the grass on the other side? The more you do the other thing, the more that grass it will stop growing. That's the new habit. So habits is not just do it, not imaginary. You need to take action. You can't pray for it to come, you need to act. And how could you relate emotional intelligence to being the CEO of your brain? The CEO of your brain means that you know yourself. Self-awareness. You know what triggers you. You know how to not snap. You can take a step back and breathe. You can ask yourself power questions. This thing that I am planning to do, does it serve me? Does it serve those around me? Does it serve the environment? Because if it doesn't, maybe I should choose differently. You also know how to self-regulate. It's not because somebody said something to you that you have to go all bizarre on the person. That's called self-regulation. It's not because you're a boss, you're a manager, you're a leader that gives you a right to treat people in a certain way. That takes self-regulation. When you are hurting, that's just your brain feeling it's losing control. That's what I said earlier about it's releasing cortisol. So when it's releasing cortisol, you need to calm, you need to find a way of being mindful. Breathing helps, breathing. Because the brain needs oxygen. And when you breathe, mothers and fathers, you look at that child that keeps on saying, mommy, 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 mommy. And what do? You breathe. And when you breathe, what happens? You feel better able to respond rather than react to the child. And then when you are able to do this for yourself, you are able to do it for others. Because what you cannot allow, embrace in yourself, you will not be able to do it to others. And that's about being emotionally intelligent. If you can allow it for yourself, if you can see it in yourself, if you can enable it in yourself, you will be able to do that for others. And this is how you become the CEO of your brain.
Okay, thank you very much.
So,
there's a question here that says, what is distinction in terms of functions between brain and the mind with reference to our area of discourse today? Do they collaborate in a way, or is there any?
Sorry, could you just repeat that question again? I didn't really grasp what you'd said.
What is distinction in terms of functions between the brain and the mind with reference to our area of discourse today?
So in your career, you are putting your talent. Your talent is your talent is connected to your interests. Your interests are connected to how you're wired. I am not somebody that likes numbers. When I did my neuroagility profile, I was able to see that it makes sense. I don't like numbers. That's not what I use in my job. That's not what I have enhanced in my career. So when you understand that your interests, what you are good at, is really connected, because that's what you improve. That is the direction you take in your career. That's where you find your purpose and your passion. That is why it is connected, if that makes sense. And that is where your money lies. That's where your wealth lies. That's where your thriving lies. That's where your success lies. That's where your being able to impact lies. Does that help?
I guess it should. Thank you very much. I believe there'll be more questions, and please, you can drop your questions on the chat room and you'll get your answers. Definitely will, because this is a topic that we know she cannot run away from. She has served it hot and she has to make sure we get it hot. Thank you very much. And it's been a wonderful pleasure having to sit under you and being exposed to this new part of us. And at this point, I'd like to call on Terry to take off the platform and introduce our next speaker. Thank you so very much.
All right, thank you, Kachi, for that. And thank you so much, Dr. Moswa, for an awesome section. We'll take a break now, and I'll be back, right back.
Welcome to Career Summit 4.0.
I will conquer, I will fly, reach my peak, I will. And there's nothing that can ever bring me down.
Welcome to Career Summit 4.0.
I will conquer, I will fly, reach my peak, I will. And made it high enough to notice.
All right, so I think we're starting the next section very quickly. Let's see how that goes. I think next speaker, right in there. So we don't waste too much time, because we didn't start exactly the time we're supposed to start, but I think we need to start the next section right away. All right, I think it's been an awesome section so far. The last section by Dr. Moswa, sorry, yeah, doctor now, but was simply amazing. A very mind opening section, and I believe everyone got so much value so far from that section. We're going to go straight on into the next section. I believe this is going to be like the what we call cementing everything. All right, after all said and done, like a take home for the 2 and for the Career Summit 4.0. And I believe we want to grab a notepad and pen so we can take notes for this section. Our facilitator, I think he's in the room. I think I saw him, let me be sure, a few minutes ago, and he's ready to take on.
Yes, I'm here, Terry.
Section. Okay, awesome, great, awesome, great, awesome, great. So without wasting too much time, I'm going to bring on our next speaker, just with a very short profile of him, and then
no need for a profile. Let's just go on. Let's move on. Let me save about 3 minutes. Let me save about 3 minutes. Let's just move into it. Good afternoon.
Your profile is already on the screen.
Thank you. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. And
okay, great.
Thank you, Dr. Adeyemi, for inviting me. Thank you, Terry, for the intro that I did not allow you to do. Thank you very much. My name is Yemi Fashio, and I think that's that's probably all we need to know for now. I work with YF Talent Partners as a Chief Talent Officer. What we do is HR advisory, leadership and culture transformation, talent outsourcing, and we're also open to partnerships within the HR tech space. So yeah, basically that's about me. I think what I would do this afternoon, I had a different idea of what to do before now, but listening to the three speakers of this morning, I think what we'll just do is, if you allow me to say it, let's share the grace and go home. But no, that's not what we're going to do. I'll just provide an executive summary to all the conversations of yesterday and this morning as well. An executive summary that will just wrap everything together. I see common themes and common conversations around the things we've all listened to the last 2 days. And like I said, just permit me to wrap it up in a sort of summary and then a charge to all of us in terms of what we need to do. So if you allow me to share my screen quickly. Okay. Yeah. I am looking for my presentation and I'm sitting. Okay, so I have titled my short executive summary. Like I said, I've titled it, "The Future is Here, Own It." The future is here, you've got to own it. We've talked about the future for far too long, but like 2.5 years ago, the future happened so suddenly, and we can't afford to wait for a future that has already arrived. So what do we need to do that the future is here? So my presentation is going to go along this line. I'll tell you about the relevant skills in the now of work, which is the fourth industrial revolution, why it is important for us to therefore upskill and reskill so that we can take advantage of the future that has happened. I'll give us some tips for building capacity, because that's what it is. We've got to build capacity for now. This morning, maybe about 2 hours ago on my WhatsApp status, I said, build capacity, build networks, build the future. That's what, the more we are in the space of building capacity today, the more we are getting ready for the future. I'll give you my final thoughts and then we will close. All right. So what's really driving the now of work? What's driving the current industrial revolution? And I'm sure we can all relate with it. We've moved from 1.0, the time of the steam engine that aided production. We moved to 2.0, which was the era of mechanized or assembly plan, and it allowed us to do things based on the economies of scale. And then 3.0 was about automation. Computers took over. Basically, we could do things in milliseconds what we were doing manually before. It was the era of automation. But the current industrial revolution is a fusion of advances in technology. It's an unprecedented handshake between man and machine. It's about artificial intelligence. It's about robotics. It's about the Internet of Things, genetic engineering, and other technologies that are staring us in the face today, changing the ways we did things yesterday, and not abating at all in terms of the changes that we are still going to expect. The changes are happening at a very fast rate, and we are wondering what's going on. We are still saying it's a VUCA word, and then something else happens the next day. What I've said to businesses that I engage with is to say that your business strategy cannot be a one-year strategy in the face of the advances in technology. It cannot be something that you revisit on a 6-monthly basis. It cannot even be something you visit quarterly. It's almost daily. It is online, real time, because so many things have changed and so many things are changing. And if you're telling businesses those things around change, then we must tell ourselves as individuals who are very serious about taking advantage of opportunities for our career. We must also tell ourselves that we can't wait until 1 year before you do something to change the course of your career. You can't wait another 6 months. It's no longer I will when I'm ready. It's about now. You got to do it now. You got to take advantage of those opportunities now. So if businesses are therefore looking at their strategy on a daily basis, it goes without saying that individuals must look at their career plans, career projections, career opportunities also on a daily basis. But what do we need to do? Before we go there, let me say that things are no longer about the jobs that you want to do in the future. The conversation has moved away from jobs to skills. I'll say that again. The conversation about success in our career has moved away from jobs to skills. So it's no longer lawyers are thriving or doctors are thriving or HR people are, or accountants. No, whatever you're doing, it is your success or your success story is fully hinged on how well you understand the skills that are relevant in today's industrial revolution and able to therefore take advantage of those skills so that you can be successful today and into the future. So I'm not talking about what jobs would make sense. I'm talking about what skills are relevant in today's world. And I've boxed them in about 4 broad boxes. The first 2 is saying, 1, cognitive, and the second, interpersonal. So how are you playing whatever role, whatever profession you find yourself in at the moment? How is your critical thinking capabilities to bring business solutions to the things that you do on the daily? Do you have structured problem-solving skills? Do we see you as an individual with logical reasoning in whatever you do? Are you still in the space of same old, or you are taking advantage of relevant information available to you today to do things better, to fulfill the deliverables of your job description? Or are you still thinking and waiting? What are you doing about your critical thinking capabilities? The business that we all work in, the business doesn't pay for time. Business doesn't pay for showing up. It doesn't pay for marking a register. Businesses pay for bringing solutions to business problems. And if you're not in the space, therefore, critically thinking through all the elements and variables adding to business solutions, then you might not be relevant in today's world. What is your planning and ways of working? Everybody has been talking agile for a couple of years now, maybe 2-3 years. It just became the new topic in town, the new wave, the new hype, agile thinking. Are you able to pivot within your current role into some other areas of the same role or into different roles entirely? Are you thinking in an agile manner, or are you laid back in your mindset about your job? What's your time management and prioritization like? Are we still chasing after you for you to deliver on the things we gave you last week and we said it was due this week? We need individuals who are able to manage themselves within time and be able to prioritize. Communication is extremely important as a relevant skills today. People will tell you that public speaking and storytelling has literally gone off the roof. In terms of being at the background before, nobody actually nobody wanted to do public speaking because of the fright that comes with it. But guess what? Storytelling and public speaking are so relevant. Was having a coaching conversation with somebody this morning, and I said to her that, see, I can see that you know how to wink, but you're winking in the dark and nobody sees you. You must be able to tell your story. You must be able to wink in such a way that the audience will connect to your winking and know what you're talking about. So what's your communication style like? Are you asking the right questions? Are you able to integrate messages from different sources? Are you an active listener? Or are you just going with the flow? Again, are you allowing the world of communication in the social media space to affect the way you communicate in formal settings? You need to be careful because we're looking for individuals who can communicate effectively. listen, and then be able to communicate effectively. Also, we're looking for individuals with mental flexibility. Everybody's talking about innovation and creativity and ideation. Are you in that space? Can we tap into your imagination in such a way that it adds to the 2 + 2 = 5, which is the synergy of the team? Or are you the weakest link in the team? Can we rely on you to come up with ideas because you are, number one, agile, you are in tune with current realities, and you can therefore bring about creativity and innovation? Can you translate knowledge into different contexts, or are you stuck in the rut of that was how we did it 3 years ago, that's how we must still do it? Can you easily adapt to the now of work, to the current workplaces demanding entirely new ways of working? Are you able to therefore respond to what the new workplaces are asking? Are you a role model in terms of interpersonal skills, especially as you begin to, one, self-manage or self-lead, and then as you begin to lead other people? Can we count on you in terms of your solid interpersonal relationships? Are you empathetic, or are you just, hey, this is how I am, accept me the way I am, or just leave me? I have said at some point again that 3 critical, or maybe 4 critical leadership competencies. And when I say leadership, please also see this from a point of view of self-leadership as well. Number 1, you need to lead with empathy, lead with humility, lead with connectedness. Because the pandemic has dealt with the world. Let's not kid ourselves. And a lot has happened. And we're looking for individuals who will galvanize the team, not necessarily in the title of a leader, but individuals who become the focal point of sociability within the team, and are therefore able to become spots or circles of influence for the team, for the unit, for the organization. So what's your team effectiveness like? Do you understand the concept of diversity and inclusion? Are you self-motivated and then be able to motivate other people? Are you constantly resolving conflicts in the organization, or you are the one who is the arrowhead of the conflicts? These are the questions you need to ask yourself so that you can own the future. And that future, like I said, is now. The future has arrived. Without all of this, you just find out that you might be struggling, and you'll be saying, why am I not promoted? Why am I not getting results? Why am I not getting? The world has totally changed. The things we took for granted about 3, 4, 5 years ago, those things have come to the fore now, and they have become game changers. If you're therefore not playing within that game-changing circle, it might be difficult for you to therefore own the future, which is now. What's your collaboration like? Do you empower other people, or are you just sitting in your own corner? Whatever I know, I paid to get this training. I don't have to teach other people, and therefore let me be. Is that your attitude to work in the now of work, or are you the individual who is saying, no, it's not about me, it's about the team. Therefore, let's empower everyone. Self-leadership. Are you, and I think the last speaker mentioned this, for you to understand how to use your brain effectively, you must first come to the point of self-awareness and self-management. Yesterday, I said that that man's greatest KPI is managing self. And there's an incident right now that has gone viral and ballistic, both locally and globally. Something that happened somewhere in Nigeria. 2 individuals who were not fully aware of self, and therefore not able to manage self. And what happened? They didn't understand exactly what could trigger their emotions, and therefore aggression became the order of the day. But from a point of self-leadership, where are you? Because if you cannot lead self, you can't lead other people. How well are you able to control yourself and regulate yourself? How well do you understand your own strengths, and therefore able to constantly develop yourself to master the more your strengths, and also improve on your areas where you need some sort of management? what's your self-confidence like? Like I said, are you self-motivated? And also we're looking for an all-round human being in this new future. You've got to own it. It's not just about raising your hands, everybody, and say, every day, and saying I'm available to work, I have the skills, I will do it over the weekend, they need somebody on Sunday. No. It's an all-round, well-balanced new worker that we're looking for. The individual who is, yes, self-motivated, yes, wants to do more, but also understands that well-being is everything. What's your entrepreneurship capabilities like? We're not looking at individuals who say, hey, just pay me my job for 8 to 5, I'll clock out at 5 o'clock and I'm done. No, we're looking for individuals who will drive change and innovation on a daily basis, putting energy, optimism, and passion into what they do, and definitely with such positive attitude, will be able to break boundaries or orthodoxies. Not the same old, not this is the way we've been doing it. We're looking for individuals who will be able to manage the 4 generations in the workplace today. The individuals who are at the extreme end, baby boomers, and they tend to be conservative. Please mark my words, I'm not stereotypical. They tend to be conservative. They tend to be slow. They tend to, all the adjectives we use to describe them. At the other end, the Gen Z, the Alpha generation, who are, again, typically in a hurry. We're looking for individuals who look at all those 4 generations, with the millennials in the middle, with Gen X and Y somewhere, and still be able to work together with an entrepreneurial mindset, so that what we want to get out of it is achievement for the unit, for the department, or for the organization. What is your level of resilience? Or are you at the point where at every opportunity to give you a feedback that you're not doing well on your job, the next recourse is my mental health, my mental well-being? No, we are still, despite the fact that mental health and well-being is important, we're still looking for individuals who wouldn't give up easily in the face of challenges, who will understand that this is what I need to do, and I need to do it with persistence, self-development, and some coping mechanism. The now of work is demanding a separate set of skills for achievement and for success. And of course, goes without saying, digital. Digital is everything. Life itself is online at the moment. So if you are not digitally fluent, or you are not a digital citizen, you have lost out in the now of work. The future that has happened now, you may not be able to easily blend in. So what is your digital literacy level like? How open are you to digital learning and to digital collaboration? The fact that we don't see you anymore at work every day because your organization has embraced remote working or a hybrid form of it doesn't mean that you still cannot collaborate digitally. We are still looking for you to stay connected with the ethics, with the values, with professionalism, with the entire fabrics of the organization. So where are you? Are you taking advantage of live, online, and therefore not able to give in your best to your role? Software use and development. Like I said, technology is everything. The current industrial revolution is fully leveraging the advanced technology of today. So where are you concerning data analysis, statistics, programming, even if the foundation, even if the fundamentals, even if to just be able to have a conversation, right? What's your data literacy like? Can you work with smart systems? And are you able to translate digital things into possible solution for the organization? So 4 boxes, like I said. Number 1 is cognitive. Number 2, interpersonal. Number 3, self-leadership. And number 4, digital. There are others, but I have just concentrated on these 4 as what you need, where you need to play so that you can own the future, which is now. So 2 broad things that I think we should do. And please, let's not wait for our organizations to do this for us. Number 1, we need to upskill. And that is learning new skills to enhance your current skill set. What you know today is great. But like I said, by the time the clock turns and it's March 20, it might be outdated. Are you therefore in an agile position to say, I'm learning new things on the daily so that I will enhance my employability skills, so that I will be able to deliver for my organization? So what we're not saying do away with current skills, we're just saying learn new things, new ways to enhance those skills. That's number one. Then number two, you also need to constantly find ways to reskill yourself, and that is learning new skills. Remember, upskilling is what you are doing today. You are learning new skills to enhance it. But reskilling is you are learning totally new things. How well are you able to pivot into different areas, from HR to sales, from sales to finance, from HR to technology? And I promise you, individuals are doing it. But a lot of that will depend on your ability to open up yourself to the process of learning. Not just learning the things that you've done for 5 years or 10 years. I mean, recently, I read English at IFE, and we left about 30, 34, 32 years ago. And recently we came across one of our classmates who has gone fully into digital. From a background in English studies, now the individual is fully digitalized, nothing to do with the first degree of decades ago, right? So we must constantly look for those opportunities, because we're looking for individuals who are willing to adapt to change in jobs and change in careers. It's not just about the education, it's just not about the certification, all well and good, but it's about the skills, and therefore your ability to apply the things that you learn in the now of work. And let me also quickly say that if you're not developing yourself, if you're not in love with self-development, you've lost out in the new game. The game, one of the important game changers of this current future is the fact that you've got to be in love with self-development. There are skills shortages. Digital transformation is bringing about new roles, automation as well. The impact of COVID, the jobs of yesterday, we can't find them anymore on the radar. The jobs that we didn't see on the radar yesterday, we can now see them. So what are you doing to take advantage of those possibilities so that you can become or continue to be relevant in today's workplace? So what do you need to do? Just some building tips as I begin to run down. Set goals for yourself. You've got to reflect. Where am I? Where do I need to go? And how do I need to close the gap? Find first a mentor in yourself. You can't outsource the things that you have to do to anyone else. You've got to first find a mentor in yourself. Visioning, setting goals, understanding where you are. Those are things that nobody can do for you. You've got to find a mentor in yourself. Find a mentor in your line manager. Your line manager on a daily basis, or maybe Monday to Friday, is somebody you work with. And if therefore your line manager cannot be a mentor to you, I am not sure who's going to mentor you. And yeah, you can tell me, I mean, you don't understand. My line manager is XYZ, ABC, and I'll tell you that, yes, I understand. I have been there before, but find a way to still learn on a daily basis from your line manager. That should be your second mentor. And if you still find gaps after mentoring yourself, finding a mentor in your line manager, please find a mentor externally. It works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Seek feedback constantly about your strengths and your areas of improvement. Now, don't sit on what you're doing today and be comfortable. You need to constantly review what you're doing, your job description, you need to constantly benchmark it with what the market is looking for. Because you might just think that you're looking at the mirror and you see that you're doing great, and you're probably getting feedback that you're doing great, but a peep out of the window might show you that, hey, you are doing great at what is no longer relevant in today's world. So what are you great at? That's the question. Constantly review where you are so that you are not out of tune with reality. Enroll for relevant courses. I've talked about self-development, and there's so many of them available. Take continuing education as a serious issue, not only because you want to be better at what you're doing right now, but also because of the possibilities of what you might be doing in the future. As an individual, a few people might know that where I have what's the word to use now? Where I have been known, the space where I have been known in the market might be the space of HR. But I promise you that in the last 5 months, I have done a lot beyond HR. So get yourself ready by getting yourself ready. The opportunities will come. Take advantage, of course, of company training is available, job shadowing, volunteering, getting involved in projects, even if they're not paying you. Those are opportunities for you to learn new things, to upskill and to reskill. And of course, like I said, build yourself, build capacity, build solid networks, and then you are building the future. The place of professional associations or communities, networks cannot be overemphasized. You've got to build solid networks. You've got to invest in solid networks, because ultimately, I promise you, years down the line, you will get the returns on your investment. Okay, so final thoughts from me. Personal development is an ongoing act of assessing our life goals and values, and we need to, on the go, build our skills and qualities so that we can reach our potential. Let's select skills to develop by performing first a self-analysis, and I call it reflection, so that we can know the areas where we need to improve ourselves or where we need to pivot into, and that is by constantly benchmarking ourselves with what the market is asking for. Focus on transferable skills. What you are doing today might not be relevant in the now of work or the future of work. Make sure you are focusing on transferable skills that make you a competitive advantage. So please don't focus too much on your job that you lose sight of your career. Your job today is important. I promise you the career, which is more strategic and long-term, is a lot more important. If there is anywhere for you to focus, it is less on the job of today, but more on your career, which literally speaks to the future. Thank you very much. And that is my summary as we come to the close of this summit. Thank you. Over to you, Terry.
Wow. Thank you so much, YF, for wrapping up the whole section with the executive advice. It was indeed an executive advice indeed, and I believe it's very, very, so much on point. Those things that have been said, very critical, all right, on leadership, on self-leadership. Personal development is just what we need right now as a take-home to wrap up this whole section. All right, thank you so much again. Let me look in the chat room. Please, let's just send in your excitement, your appreciation to YF for that section. All right, I see that coming in already. Demola says a wonderful presentation and eye-opening insights. We have more emojis there in the comments, in the chat room. Let's keep that coming. Let's celebrate him. All right, it's not easy taking our time to add value. All right, and he shared several things that you need to do, like a roadmap. All right, he shared about 9 things there, starting from setting a goal to joining a community. I think we need to look at that and then take that as steps that you can follow through over and over again until you get to your goal. And he said, keep career in focus. All right, don't just focus on your job, focus on building your career. What a way to end the Career Summit. What a way to end the day 2 of the Career Summit and this section. Thank you so much again, YF. So much in the chat room already. Nice one, sir. Beautiful indeed. Awesome presentation filled with tips. Your section are always on point,
Terry.
provoking, and so many other things. Thank you so much. All right, over to you
Terry,
now,
before
Ayo.
before you roll on, let me talk to my boss. So much. You've been a blessing. I think you've been part of at least 3 of the sessions I know, and YF is so busy that if you have any of the time to get out of from YF, be sure that you really are very lucky. I can tell you, I mean, and you heard that in his speech. He has done some this morning. And I know right now, once he leaves us, he's up for another one. Thank you so much for this value you are giving to us. We don't take it for granted. And I must say to you that you and every of our partner on this project are really touching lives and making a whole lot of shit. What I know is that people may not really understand what we are doing right now, but this information are live information that in few years to come, when people look back, they realize that they are really impacted. I just want to say thank you so much for your time. We change the time schedules. You still ensure that you fit into it. I do not take that for granted. I want to say, Sally, I appreciate you. I'm learning a lot from you. I think very soon, just me relocate to beside your house, and you like, they say you have a new neighbor. Because I know there's so much in that. You know, if I don't know how many of you have seen YF. I promise you, very soon you will see YF. Do you have not seen YF? I'm not envious of the height, but when I'm talking to YF, I have to look up very well to, apart from being respectful, I also have to look up that, give me something now.
Doc.
Thank you so much. There's something I want to learn from you. And this is one of the things, I mean, I must say to you and most of our speakers, people may not know yet, I take time to study your profile, study a lot of things about you guys on LinkedIn. And we don't just agree our result to say we want you to speak to us. There are things, there are changes we see. The things you have spoken about today are things I personally observed, in your own personal career. And I see a lot of transition, a lot of change. And one of your employment I said you are doing, I said, which one? Guy HR, which one find to this level now? I said, come and buy my product. I said, product, which product now? HR and human being. But you see, these are the things that it make a lot of impact and gives you a more of leverage in the industry and the career shift. And so we really appreciate you. And Reverend started by giving us that, those. Dr. Dial came up by that we are awakening, and TDA came, I mean, in a different dimension to give us another uppercut. And then just today, we think we are trying to settle down, and it will give us that of the body. And then somebody opened up our brain and pour
reset the brain.
Our brain. And then why just pour everything inside that reset before the thing get, away. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate you. And I'm sure people have enjoyed themselves. Please, if you have your question, just drop them. Be sure that your question will be attended to. If not right now, be sure that we will get it to them. Yes, I see somebody mentioning mentoring. The truth is that all the faculty members had that intention, because when we had our session, pre-summit session, they were hopeful to mentoring, but they gave a lot of caveat to that. And Dr. Dayo emphasized that yesterday. I won't speak on behalf of anybody that has not subscribed to the materials and your certificates. All right, because it's part of the thing they said, if you are getting these things for free, you should also be able to part with something, and then they can take it a bit longer than that. I'm one of the mentees of YF. In fact, everybody that has spoken, I'm their mentee. Omozwa is my latest mentor because I'm going to submit my brain to her and help me continue to work on it. So mentoring is very powerful, and the essence of this actually is about mentoring. And of course, you can't get all of the dose right here. So you need more personal engagement. I'm on their platform. I'm learning daily. And I must say to you that it's not for free. If you want quality mentoring, in fact, if you get it for free, you need to pay, to deliberately pay for it. These things are not for free. For you to improve in your career, to improve on yourself, you need to be able to part with something. It costs to put all this together. Some people are paying for it. All of our faculty are the one paying for it for us to put it together. So if you think it's free, somebody actually paid for it, and it's not absolutely free. But of course, just that you are not paying anything. So now, for you to get much more, to go much more, you also need to part, with something. All right. The materials, the recorded version, will be made available for those that signify interest and pay for it. It's not going to be for free. Thank you so much, everyone. Our moderator, thank you. The participants that stay all through, thank you so much. Terry, it's your floor to close us and close the session. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Can I say more Akonji? More Akonji, you say you have a question. Please, can you unmute? Can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, there was something that you said about mentoring. Thank you, by the way, for that very wonderful presentation. I mean, my mind was blown. Now, you did talk about being mentored, and you said, let your line manager mentor you. What if you're in a situation where your line manager himself tells you, mentor me? Because in all sincerity, that's the situation that I have found myself. I have a line manager whom, with every sense of humility, I am much more educated than, I have more experience than, and I actually, even in age, I'm older than. So we're in a situation where this person is telling me, I need to learn from you. So basically, everything about the department is on my shoulder. Like, I do absolutely everything. This person can afford not to come to work forever, knowing that nothing is going to happen to the department. How do I get a mentor in that kind of person? Or am I in the wrong job or in the wrong position or wrong situation? I don't know. Please enlighten me.
Okay, so I think you're in a unique place. You're in a very, very unique place. When your boss says you should mentor him or her, unique place, that's fine. And I think you should take on that challenge. But take it on with wisdom. All right? Yes, take on the challenge, but take it with wisdom. But the point is, there is also the law of the lead. I don't know for how long you will remain motivated. That's the first of the 21 laws of John Maxwell, the law of the lead. Because you can't give what you don't have. And therefore, if your boss is saying, I can't give you mentoring, I can't give you knowledge or learning, and the one who's going to learn from you, I personally do not know for how long I will survive in such an environment. Because my line manager must be technically competent, must have character, and must have charisma. But if number one is lacking, which is the ability for me to learn from her or him so that I can become the line manager tomorrow, more or less, does it not say that one is stagnated, ab initio?
Exactly where I am. I feel stuck and stagnated.
So I don't know for how long you want to be stuck. You now need to go back to number one, mentor yourself. And number one, the way to mentor yourself is to go back to your own career goals and your career action plans and your vision for the future and what you therefore need to do to close the gap. And who says that planning an exit is not part of a career plan? You see, I haven't said to you exit, but I'm saying to you, plan your exit. I'm not sure, like I said, for how long you want to remain engaged and motivated in a role where you're not learning anything from your superior. But the point is, planning to exit is part of a way to mentor yourself. If you also sit down and you say you are in a comfortable place, your boss trusts you. If your boss goes for a year, nothing will happen. So that means your boss will actually go for a year, collect a salary, you do all the job, and you are in no way motivated. But for as long as you are there, let me say this, for as long as you are in that role, give your best to it and take the best out of it. But please, by all means, plan your exit. And planning could take you 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, I don't know. I mean, there was a time I planned to leave somewhere in July. I eventually left in November. Plan your exit. Don't sit in a place where you think you are a big fish in a small pond, when you can be a small fish in a big pond. But the point is, you got to plan your career, plan your exit. Go back to number one, mentor yourself.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. Quickly, there's another question here. I believe Mo got that answer was good, and it meets your what's on your mind. Ademola says, how can you be mentor when your line manager is so authoritative and doesn't listen
Terry,
to
I
your
also think
conclusion?
Omozu, I want to add to it. I think he wants to add to that response.
Okay. I think she dropped it on the chat room, or is that not what it is?
Yeah, she already said plan your exit, make that choice, be brain friendly so that you are always able to be with the decision with the mind. Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's part of mentoring. If you're not in tune with your brain, there is nothing an external mentor can do for you. So I am in a space where I mentor in hundreds, about 220 people, 6 months of last year, right? But trust me, the first thing I say to them is this: mentor yourself. And I love the way we've captioned it in the previous session. You've got to be in tune with your own brain first. A mentor will first need to do a lot of work before he or she can get into your brain. But hey, you are the CEO of your brain, like Omozua said. So be in tune with yourself first, mentor yourself, recalibrate, and determine what keeps me awake at night. What can I do to make sure that that thing doesn't continue to keep me awake? So if you're, let me give you an example, guys. Somebody said to me 2 weeks ago, I've been in this job for 15 years and my gross salary is 3.5 million. And I'm saying to him after the conversations for like an hour, I said, you are in that job for 3 years, 6 years, 9 years, 12 years, and now 15 years. What happened to that conversation with one's brain before you come to the point of frustration and depression? Don't let it get to that point. Have a dialogue with yourself on the go, on a continuous basis. See, where you are now is a choice. It's one of many choices. And please, nobody should tell me, you know how the economy is and all that. Please don't. That's part of the conversations of the brain. Once you start saying something, the brain picks it up and then it regulates you differently. But if you know that you are developing yourself, you are getting ready for the future and the now of work, you are constantly reskilling and upskilling yourself, the market will be ready for you. As a matter of fact, the market will be looking for you. That's the reality.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
So the next question there, how can you be mentored when your line manager is so authoritative and doesn't listen to your contribution?
Again, the second thing I'll say to that question is what I have said, plan your exit. But let me go to the first thing. For as long as you're in that place, you've got to be emotionally intelligent. Your level of emotional intelligence will determine how well you'll be able to cope with such an authoritative boss who doesn't listen. But for as long as you are there, you got to understand that responding with aggression will not give you results. Responding by being passive will not give you results. You still need to be assertive without unnecessarily exhibiting any negative emotion. However, back to number 2, in your instance, plan your exit. Demola, plan your exit.
Okay, thank you, sir. Plan your exit. It's not saying exit, it's a plan your exit. All right, thank you so much. I think there's a contribution also from Mozwa there. I don't know if she wants to speak, but it says your emotions are yours to own. You can only change you, influence you, and be okay with you. All right, you can only change you.
Yeah. Let me, sorry.
Go ahead, I think you need to speak. I think you need to speak.
Yeah. So I really just love, has just been amazing. Everything that YT just shared and added on. It's so spot on. My manager is a bully. The economy is in a certain way. Business is not running. All of those things are things you feel. And where do you start feeling? You feel with your brain. For you to go forward, it's a choice. Am I going to just accept that business is the way it is and I can't change anything? Or am I going to accept that my bully boss is the way he is and now I am going to dwell in a negative, pessimistic, hopeless state? That is why the choice is yours, because where you are, where you're heading, it's up to you. Nobody can help you with that. And when you are okay and you make that confident choice of what it's going to be, that's when you start making your decisions. That's when you change the job. That's when you start to plan that exit. That's when you then exit. Because at the end of the day, it is, can you live with your decisions? Yes, when you do it with the brain. Because then you have no regrets. You move on. So that's what I would add to that. Trying to change the other person will never help. Everybody's trying to change somebody who has decided to unleash a war on a country. You see, it doesn't help. So what do? You see the people there, they plan, they leave. Next step, because that's how life goes on, isn't it? That's all.
Awesome. Awesome. Change you. You can only change you, influence you, and be okay with you. Thank you so much. I believe there are no more questions already. There are no more questions, and we want to call this to a close today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, our facilitators. Mozu amazing. Thank you so much, YF, Imi Fashion, for adding value to us, and every of our moderators so far who's been a part of the success of the Career Summit 4.0. And I think I hand this over back to Dr. Ayo. I don't know. Dr. Ayo, I think I'm done with my role. Over back to you, sir, to take it up from there.
Yes,
yeah.
It brings us to the end of the summit, and it's really been awesome. For me, I've learned so much. You can drop in the chat box some of your takeaway from yesterday's session to today's session. It has been short, sharp, and very impactful session. You need to listen to it again, because for me, I'm still going to have to do a personal summit to listen over and over and again to the materials. These are information that will power our career, and we would love to hear your feedback. Of course, if you are registered, you will get a mail from us with some more information, and then we will also seek your honest opinion, your feedback, okay, so that we can then be able to have a kind of engagement, with you, and see how we can also be of help. Beyond having this summit, we want to be able to help, assist people. So please make it possible for us. Share your feedback with us. Let us see what we can do and how we can help you, again, more to get the best out of yourself. I can't thank our faculty members enough. Thank you so much. Next year already is going to be a physical one, or hybrid. Let me say hybrid. And it promised to be loaded and fantastic. And it's going to be a paying one anyway. The 5th edition is going to be a paying one. So enjoy it now. Enjoy all of the goodies now. I'm ready to enjoy much more in the future. And I said yesterday, if you have attended the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th edition, let me know. I have a special gift for you if you have been part of all this. And you must come with your evidence. At least show us your registration link or the picture you took at each of the event. If you have it, there's a gift. One of the gifts is my book, and then there will be other gifts I will announce, or I will let you know when you come or you get back to us. So thank you, everyone. Please don't stop this retreat or summit for hearing purpose alone. Please let it translate to your career. Let's celebrate you. Let it translate to your career, and then we can then be happy together. That's all it is. So thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Have a blast. Thank you so much. And like I always say, my team, or the team song for the past edition and this current edition remain Kobam Lasuko. That song for me worth listening to every moment of the day. It's very inspiring, and I will leave us with that as we sign out. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Dr. Ayo. Thank you all, the moderators, everyone. Thank you so much.
I've been down the road where failure seemed familiar. No one thought that I would ever come this far. When everything was telling me that it was over, still there was a fire burning in my heart. Getting closer, stronger than I've ever been. I believe I've been down the road where failure seemed familiar. No one thought that I would ever come this far. When everything was telling me that it was over, still there was a fire burning in my heart. There were days I felt like I was at my lowest. I pushed so hard I couldn't see beyond the pain. I never knew I made it high enough to notice I'm getting closer, stronger than I've ever been. I believe that I'm unstoppable. I believe I've only just begun. I will conquer, I will fly, reach my peak, I will. And there's nothing that can ever bring me down. I am living proof is impossible. I beat the odds when hope was nowhere to be found. There was a strength that carried me through every obstacle. It lets me know that it's too late to give up now. And I am not afraid to climb another mountain, to risk it all, to face my deepest, darkest fear, to live a dream much bigger than I can imagine. Cause I want the world to know that I am here. closer to the finish line. I know that every stride will lead me to my destiny, and I'm one reach away from taking what is mine.